What's up, students? This is Josiah from the Works Guitars, and got a new great video for you. This one is for beginners. For all of you who are beginners, this is all about basically mistakes that beginner guitar players make and how you can easily avoid them. So, without further ado, let's get started. The very first issue is how you hold the pick. A lot of beginners run into trouble by holding the pick with way too much force. Really, you only need to use your thumb and your index finger. If you have more than one finger on the pick, apart from your thumb, you have too many fingers on the pick. You only need your thumb and index finger because everything on the guitar is about control. This is a very easy one to avoid. Don't put more fingers on the pick. Let your fingers relax, the rest of your fingers relax, and it will make it a lot easier for you to play on the guitar. Next up, gripping the guitar with your palm instead of using your thumb and fingers to hold the guitar. Now, I'm going to turn to the side here so that you can see it in just a moment. But what I'm talking about is you are supposed to hold your guitar between your thumb and your fingers only. Your thumb is supposed to be the guiding portion, and your fingers are the ones that are playing. I see it all too often with beginners that they hold the guitar with their whole hand. And what you want to do is use your thumb and your index finger, or your fingers, not your index fingers. So, I'm going to show you a side view here really quick. So you see what I mean? Your thumb is on the guitar, and this is the proper form. This would be improper. You see how it's very difficult for me to do that. So obviously it was really difficult for me to keep in the right place if I'm using my whole palm on the guitar. So instead, make sure it's using your thumb, make a thumbs up, point it up or perpendicular to the top of the guitar like this. Have your thumb in the middle, and then go ahead and play from there. Alright, the third mistake I see a lot of beginner guitar players make. It has to do with your picking. A lot of times when I see beginners play, they pick in more of a scooping motion. So they pick out like this. Not only does that distort the sound that you're originally going to get, it's probably not the best thing for you to do to your strings, and it's wildly inefficient. So, to increase efficiency, what you should actually do is start on the top of each string and basically press through the string as if you were about to play the string below. So from 4th string, you press into 3rd string and stop on 3rd. So my motion is pushing down. It's a downward motion of my wrist. I'm going to switch here and show you a close-up really quick. What I mean is this. Not a scooping motion. I mean a straight up and down motion. Notice how I stop on that 3rd string. So that's about the proper way to pick. Not scooping, going straight up and down. Next up is a big one, and a lot of people actually are kind of against me on this idea from the individual standpoint. Spending too much time trying to learn how to play songs instead of trying to learn how to play skills, how to use skills. So what I mean by that, sure, you can play a little bit of one. But if you learn how to play one and you don't understand the skills involved behind that, guess what you can play? One. and that's all you know how to play. But if you understand that one is using power chords, and then it's moving different notes on the fretboard, obviously, and that you should be using the right picking form, then you are actually gaining a skill out of that song. So, you're not focusing on playing a song, you need to focus on learning skills in a song. You can still use songs in order to do this, but it needs to be a different level of focus. The next one, I think every single guitar teacher can agree with me on, and that is, as a student, if you don't do what your guitar teacher either asks of you or what they tell you to do or how they tell you to practice, not playing the way they tell you to, that is always the biggest issue. In fact, you know what's the #1 reason why students don't succeed at my studio? It's because they don't do what I tell them to. When I didn't come here to be in this position, to be as a guitar teacher and be a professional musician by just coming up with random garbage. I know what works. I know I've seen it work. I have seen other students achieve great things by working on these specific skills, lessons, whatever it is I may be giving you. So, with that being said, if you just go off and do your own thing, are you real? I mean, what's the point in being in lessons, first of all? And then in a couple of months, after you've been trying to work really hard in order to achieve a few small goals, where are you going to be at? You have made a little bit of progress and be very frustrated. So, from there, do what your teacher tells you to. If your guitar teacher tells you that you should practice X number of minutes per week or X number of hours per week, practice that long per week. If your guitar teacher tells you should practice this lesson, practice that lesson. Don't go off and do your own thing. That brings me to my 6th one, and that is beginners trying to go about doing it on your own. I am not saying that you do not need any, or that I'm not saying that you should never try to do things on your own. I'm saying trying to go about learning how to play the guitar completely on your own. Take instruction from somebody. Yeah, I mean, okay, you may have to pay somebody money in order to teach you how to play. But think, if you go about doing it by yourself, your path is this. Oh, I kind of got there. With a professional teacher, your path is this. Would you rather go in a big squiggly line all over the place or in a straight line directly to your goals? A good teacher is going to put you directly in your goals. You're actually going to end up spending less time, less money doing that instead of trying to go about doing it on your own. If you are interested in guitar lessons and you feel like you want to do beginner guitar lessons right, come join me at my studio. It's The Works Guitars. And again, my name is Josiah, and this is a beginner guitar lesson.